Welcome to the final section of this course. We've covered mental toughness, match tracking, structured feedback, and data-driven coaching. Now, it's time to bring it all together into a long-term development plan. I want to re-emphasize that the biggest challenge in player development is that 99% of coaches cannot physically watch their players compete in practice matches and tournaments. This lack of direct observation creates a huge communication gap between players, coaches, and parents, often leading to frustration, misaligned expectations, and missed opportunities for improvement. As you all know, to bridge this gap, we created the Tennispreneur system, which allows players to provide structured post-match insights, giving coaches valuable feedback, even when they're not there in person. For 40 years, tennis coaching has remained largely unchanged, and that gap has not been filled with the proper tools and systems. Tennispreneur is disrupting the industry in a positive way. Change is never comfortable, but we're already seeing the feedback and improvements, not only from coaches, players, and parents, but from the entire industry. For a long-term development strategy to be truly effective, coaches need access to players' post-match notes and emotions. Understanding how a player felt under pressure, what worked and what didn't, is crucial for reinforcing key areas of improvement. Whether working remotely or in person, these insights help coaches create a more targeted training plan when the player returns to practice. A well-structured development plan is essential for steady growth, preventing burnout and keeping players motivated. It also helps align coaches, players, and parents around a shared vision for success. In this section, we're going to break down how to create a personalized development plan that adapts to a player's age, skill level, and long-term goals. One of the most important steps in player development is having a clear vision of where the player wants to be by the time they turn 18. Some players may aim to go professional, while others may use the college system as a stepping stone to the pro circuit. These long-term goals fuel hard work, discipline, and belief in the journey. To make this vision a reality, the timeline must be broken down into manageable goals. These goals, set by the coach and monitored closely, should create a structured roadmap that outlines the number of tournaments and practice matches needed at each stage of development. Mental resilience must also be built over time, ensuring players can handle competitive pressure without burning out. Balancing training loads with proper recovery is key to long-term success. For those coaching within academies or managing large groups of players, keeping each player well organized with a clear development plan is essential. Tennispreneur provides an easy way to structure and track these plans, keeping all necessary data in one place for quick reference. A well-rounded development plan should focus on 4 key areas. The first pillar is technical and tactical development, where players refine their skills and strategies. The second is mental toughness and emotional growth, which builds confidence, resilience, and focus under pressure. The third pillar is physical conditioning and endurance, ensuring players are fit enough to compete at their best. And lastly, the fourth pillar is competitive experience and match tracking, using match data to measure progress and refine match strategies. By consistently tracking these 4 areas, players develop in a balanced way, not just in skill, but also in mental and physical preparation for competition. Every player develops at their own pace. One of the most important lessons for players and parents to understand is that no 2 journeys are the same. Growth in tennis, both physically and emotionally, happens at different stages for each athlete. Some players mature early and experience rapid success, while others take more time to develop the strength, skills, and mental resilience needed to compete at a high level. There is no set timeline for success. Some young players may achieve top rankings at 10 or 12 years old, but if they don't continue developing physically and emotionally, their progress may stall. On the other hand, players who struggle early may hit their full potential by 15 or 16, gaining the tools and physical build needed to compete at an elite level. Now, let's discuss the danger of comparison and social pressure. Comparing rankings and results with peers is one of the biggest challenges in junior tennis. Social pressure is the #1 reason tension builds between players and parents. Seeing others succeed early can create frustration, anxiety, and self-doubt, causing players to focus on short-term results instead of long-term growth. The key is to focus on your own roadmap. Tennis is a marathon, not a sprint. What matters most is where a player stands in the later junior years and beyond, not just at 10, 12, or 14. Early rankings do not define a player's future. A healthier perspective leads to better results. When parents and players embrace this mindset, the journey becomes far more enjoyable and sustainable. Okay? So instead of feeling pressured by comparisons, players can focus on their personal improvements, strengths, and long-term goals, setting the stage for lasting success. Another challenge in coaching is keeping track of a player's progress over time. Tennispreneur makes this easier by allowing coaches to document, monitor, and adjust development plans with real match data. With Tennispreneur, coaches can track performance trends and see how players handle pressure situations. Training can be adjusted based on actual match data rather than instinct alone. Additionally, structured updates keep parents informed, eliminating confusion and misaligned expectations. A development plan backed by real data makes it easier to pinpoint what's working, what needs to be adjusted, and what the next step should be. Many players on the professional circuit are already using Tennispreneur alongside their coaches, mentors, and even sports psychologists. Having access to real-time insights and structured feedback is invaluable for long-term success. For years, the tennis industry has relied on the same traditional coaching exercises, while parents have taken on the responsibility of managing their child's schedule and tournaments. This often leads to unnecessary stress due to a lack of structured guidance. Tennispreneur fills this gap by providing a system that creates structured development plans, ensuring parents no longer have to guess. Instead of relying on emotional reactions, data-driven insights help guide decision-making. Yes, this may require some extra work, inputting data, arranging practice matches, but the payoff is worth it. This system works. We're not reinventing the wheel. We're exposing a gap in the sport and using technology to bridge it. Now, my final thoughts on the key to long-term success. A well-structured development plan is what separates good players from great ones. It provides a roadmap for progress, helps players navigate challenges, and ensures that every training session has a purpose. Tennispreneur is here to help players stay on track, offering insights and data that guide them through their competitive journey. And we're not stopping here. We will continue adding new resources, templates, courses, and interviews with top coaches, sports psychologists, and industry experts. Coaches and parents will always have access to updated materials to refine their approach and stay ahead of the game. Be sure to log in regularly to stay updated and keep growing as a coach, mentor, or parent in this process. Thank you for joining this course. Now it's time to put this knowledge into action and start developing mentally strong, confident, and resilient competitors. The US college tennis system is one of the best pathways for young players to develop emotionally and physically before stepping onto the professional circuit. The jump from junior tennis to the pros can be overwhelming, and many players who turn pro too early struggle with the intense mental and physical demands of the sport. College tennis provides a structured environment where players can continue to grow while gaining invaluable competitive experience. It offers more competitive matches where players compete in high-pressure team environments, learning to handle adversity and perform under pressure. College also provides professional-level training with access to elite coaching, fitness programs, and sports science. And all this obviously helps athletes build the physical strength and endurance needed for the pro tour. In addition to that, the sheer number of matches played in college helps players refine their strategies, adapt to different opponents, and become smarter competitors. College also allows players to mature emotionally, build confidence, and develop the mental toughness required for professional tennis. Many top-ranked professionals, including multiple Grand Slam champions, have successfully transitioned from college to the ATP and WTA circuits. By taking the time to develop in a competitive yet supportive environment, players step into the pro game stronger, smarter, and better prepared for the challenges ahead.